Guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Sasha. If you guys are new here, welcome. I'm a professional makeup artist and content creator based in New York City. On my channel, you can find makeup tutorials, product reviews, lifestyle videos, and I focus on cruelty-free cosmetics, so you guys can always rely on me for that. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing my best makeup finds of 2020. This is a continuation of my last video. If you guys missed it, I'll link it down below. So without further ado, we're just going to jump right into it today. No wasting time. I'm going to go in the order of how I would normally do my makeup. So starting with my base products, and then we'll go over to eyes. I know everybody has a different routine. So I'm going to start with primers, and the first one is not just a primer, it's a moisturizer and a makeup primer in one. It is the Embryolisse Creme Concentre. And this is a makeup artist favorite. A lot of makeup artists keep this in their kit because it really just works for everybody. I love using this as both a moisturizer and a makeup primer, and it just gives my skin a really nice glow. It makes my foundation go on so smooth. It just melts into the skin when I apply foundation on top of this. This is the moisturizer and the primer that I have on today, and I also layered this on top of it, which is the next product I want to talk about. It's not just a primer, it's also a multitasking product, and it is the Charlotte Tilbury Wonder Glow Instant Soft Focus Beauty Flash. So what this is a product that you can use under, over, or instead of foundation, and I actually use it for all three purposes. So today I have it on as a primer. So first I apply my moisturizer and primer, and then afterwards I apply this on top of it, and it just gives my skin this really beautiful radiant glow. This has a champagne kind of pearlescent glow to it, and when you put your foundation on top, your foundation just looks even better and your skin just looks so luminous, so healthy, and I really can't live without this. I also like to apply this after I have all my makeup done as kind of like the finishing step to my makeup. So instead of using a highlighter these days, I like to use this on the high points of my face, so like my cheeks, down the bridge of my nose, just anywhere where I want to bring in brightness and radiance to my skin. So I really don't use a typical highlighter anymore. I like using this, and it just looks so healthy and natural, and I'm obsessed with this product. I can't say any more good things about it. It's one of those products that you can use in multiple ways, so it's absolutely worth it. You guys will love it. Alright, so moving on from primers, we're going to talk about foundation now. And 2020 was not really a year of foundation for me. I really didn't find myself using full coverage foundations. I really gravitated towards products that were lightweight, natural looking, didn't feel heavy on the skin. So that's what I'm going to share with you today. The first one that I have here is the Purlisse Perfect Glow BB Cream with SPF 30. It's a multitasking product, so it's my moisturizer, my SPF, my coverage, and even though a BB cream is supposed to be adequate enough to use as a moisturizer as well, I still like to use my moisturizer first and then apply this over. But this gives amazing coverage, and it's also moisturizing, so it's just the perfect product for every day. And as far as the finish, it's a hybrid between matte and glowy, so it doesn't leave you looking too matte, doesn't leave you looking too dewy. It's just the perfect finish. And the shade that I have here is medium tan, which is my perfect shade. It's really rare for me to find a BB cream or a CC cream that's my perfect shade, because usually with those types of products, they like to group a lot of different shades together into one. So medium tan is perfect for me. If you're around my skin tone, definitely check this one out. Alright, the next foundation that I have is a drugstore foundation, which is really exciting because I don't really have a lot of drugstore products today, but this one was really good. I found myself using this all the time, and it was the Covergirl Clean Fresh Skin Milk Nourishing Foundation. This foundation really blew me away. The quality, everything about this foundation is just as good as a high-end foundation. This is a sheer to buildable coverage, so it's perfect for the days when you don't want to wear a lot of makeup. It just evens out your skin tone. It blurs out like any imperfections on the skin. And the best thing about it is that it's super hydrating. It has coconut milk and aloe extracts. The finish of this foundation is dewy, so it's going to give you that really healthy, luminous glow. And if you have dry skin, you are going to love this. If you have oily skin, you can still wear this. I would definitely set it with a translucent setting powder. The shade that I'm in is medium 560, which is my perfect shade. They knocked it out of the park with this one, and it just is the perfect shade, perfect formulation. I highly recommend it if you guys are at the drugstore. Definitely check this one out. Alright, the next foundation that I have here is the Ordinary Serum Foundation. I didn't expect to love this foundation as much as I do, and now it's really one of the only foundations that I reach for. So this is a serum foundation that's supposed to have skincare benefits, but overall it just gives amazing coverage on the skin, and it's super lightweight, very thin consistency, so it doesn't feel like you're wearing a ton of makeup, but it just covers so well. And the coverage of this is very buildable, so if you do one pump, you'll get really natural coverage, and if you do a second or even third layer, you can get anywhere from a medium to full coverage. With this foundation, I really don't feel the need to reach for other foundations if I want something more full coverage or if I want something more natural for the day. This really does it all. You can manipulate the coverage based on the amount that you apply. So the only thing that's a flaw with this foundation is that there's no perfect shade for me, so I actually have to mix these two together. I have 2.0 YG and 2.1 Y. This one's a little bit too light for me, this one's a little bit too dark for me, but when I mix the two together, it's my perfect shade, and I don't know why they don't have a shade in between, but I don't really mind because this foundation is $6. It's super affordable, so these two together is $12, which is still cheaper than a high-end foundation, so I don't really mind mixing the two together. Anybody could definitely use this foundation, whether you have dry skin or oily skin. The finish is like a semi-matte finish, so it's the perfect medium for pretty much all skin types, and it just looks beautiful on the skin. So I definitely recommend this one. It's super budget friendly, won't break the bank, and it's amazing. Alright, we're going to move on to concealers, and I have 3 in this category. The first one is the Wander Beauty Dualist Concealer. So this concealer is a double-ended concealer, which is really nice because you're getting 2 different concealers in one product. And I like to use them for 2 different purposes. So the first side is like a sponge tip applicator, and this is a really creamy, illuminating, hydrating concealer. And the coverage is actually sheer, so it's not a full coverage. It's perfect for every day. And it also gives a brightening effect under the eyes, so it's definitely illuminating. It just makes your eyes look bright and awake. And the other side is a creamy matte concealer, and I typically don't use creamy concealers like ever, but this one is amazing. I like to use this side for areas to spot conceal on my face if I want a little bit more coverage. This one is more full coverage compared to the creamy side, so you're getting full coverage here, light coverage here. And I also like using the matte concealer as an eyeshadow primer. I typically don't use eyeshadow primers, I like to use concealers, and I find that this matte concealer really evens out my skin tone. It creates a smooth canvas for eyeshadow. I'm actually using it today with my eyeshadows, and as you can see, it just makes my eyeshadows look really smooth and blended. So I love this concealer because you're getting basically 2 concealers in one, and you can use it in a number of ways. Alright, the next concealer that I have here is a drugstore concealer, and it is excellent. It's the Covergirl Trublend Undercover Concealer. And when you look at this concealer, you can definitely tell that you're getting a good amount of product in here, and it has a huge sponge tip applicator, which is really nice. I think a lot of people like the ease of being able to just apply the concealer where needed and just kind of blend it out. I also want to mention that this is an amazing dupe to Tarte's Shape Tape Concealer. If you look at it, it actually kind of looks the same size. It has the same sponge tip applicator, and the coverage is there. It's medium to full coverage. It's also not drying under the eyes after a few hours. It doesn't settle into my fine lines. I'm actually using it today, and I think it looks really good. It just looks really smooth. The shade that I have is M500 Soft Tan. It's the perfect shade. I also like using this to spot conceal on the days where I don't want to wear a lot of foundation. This gives amazing coverage. I definitely recommend looking into this one if you guys are looking for a drugstore foundation that has good coverage and is affordable. The last concealer that I have here is definitely my holy grail concealer. It is the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. I've been using this for about 2 years now. I used it pretty much all of 2019 and all of 2020. It just is amazing, and no matter what concealers I try, I always go back to this one. This is more than just a concealer. You can use it to contour, to highlight, to retouch. You can get this in different colors if you want to contour with it, if you want to highlight with it. And one of my favorite ways to use this is to actually use it as a foundation. So on the days where I'm in a rush and I don't have a lot of time to do my makeup and I don't want to grab separate products, I use this as pretty much all over as a concealer, as a foundation, and it gives amazing coverage. This is another concealer that I found that doesn't settle into your lines, doesn't make your eyes dry. It's just the perfect amount of hydration and coverage, and just all around everything. So highly recommend this if you guys have not tried it yet. It is a very hyped up product, and for good reason. It lives up to all its claims. It's my holy grail. Alright guys, moving on to powders. I actually have 3 in this category because I feel like 2020 was a good year for powders. A lot of us were wearing masks in 2020, still wearing masks, and I don't know about you, but I always had an issue with my makeup transferring onto my mask, my makeup not lasting with my mask on, so I really relied on powders to keep my makeup in place. The first one I'm going to start off with is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Instant Retouch Setting Powder. This has been a holy grail powder of mine since it's basically come out, and it's a translucent powder, so it's what I like to use when I'm baking. I specifically like to use this underneath my eyes to set my concealer, and in the middle portion of my face to kind of bring lightness but also set my makeup. So when I use this, I definitely powder strategically, and I use it in conjunction with the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish, which is the other setting powder that I absolutely loved in 2020. This one actually has a shade, and it comes in 4 different shades, I believe. The one that I have is number 2 medium. And the way that I use this is I basically apply this everywhere else where I don't apply the Fenty Beauty powder. So with this powder, I apply it along my cheeks, down here on the sides of my nose, along my hairline, my temples. And this powder just makes your skin look so airbrushed. It looks flawless, and the formulation itself is finely milled, so it's never going to look chalky or heavy or look just too much. This is another very hyped up Charlotte Tilbury product, but for a good reason. It is on the pricier side. It's $48, but you don't have to use a lot of it. A little goes a long way. And again, I don't use this all over my face. I powder strategically, just where needed. The third powder that I have here is quite different than the other 2 powders that I just mentioned. This is the Wander Beauty Play All Day Translucent Powder. So this is what the powder looks like, and when you open it up, you get a huge powder puff that looks like this. And when you look inside the compact, there's actually no powder in it. So you're like, where's the powder? So the powder is actually all inside this puff, and it comes out when you start tapping it on your face, which is really innovative because you're never going to over powder your face. It's never going to look heavy or chalky. You get the perfect amount of product. This is going to be the perfect powder for you if you don't like powder. If you're someone that has maybe a drier skin type and you feel like powder just makes your skin look really chalky and dry. And this is specifically the powder that I use anytime I use a face mask because it really locks my makeup in all day. And I apply the powder all over my face, and it just prevents my makeup from transferring. And I like to travel with this as well because it does have a mirror, so if I need to touch up throughout the day, this is a powder that I like to keep in my purse. Alright, moving on, we're going to get into bronzers. So the first one that I have here is the Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow Face Sculpt and Highlight. So what this is a compact that has a contour slash bronzer and a highlighter as well. This powder here is really unique because it really is a hybrid between a contour powder and a bronzer, which is really rare to find because a lot of bronzers you can't use as a contour powder. It looks too orangey, and contour powders typically have a grayer undertone, so it's not going to be good to use all over your face. You're going to look really muddy and gray, but this specific shade is really able to bring those 2 shades together. So I like it because I don't have to use a separate bronzer powder. I don't have to use a separate contour powder. It really gives me that definition that I need, but also gives me that warmth that I want from a bronzer. And then on this side here you get a highlighter, but I don't use this one because it's actually a little too light for my skin tone. I like to use this on the inner corners of my eyes. Alright, the next bronzer that I have here is one of my holy grail bronzers. Not only did I use it in 2020, I've used it in previous years, and I just keep going back to it because it really just is amazing. And it's the Marc Jacobs Omega Bronze Coconut Perfect Tan in the shade 104 Tantastic. Now this bronzer powder is going to last you forever because it's a huge compact, as you guys can see. It's all beat up because I've used it for so long and I still have a lot of product in here, so it's unfortunate that this all broke, but you know what? It works perfectly fine. And the reason why I love this bronzer so much is because it just looks so natural on the skin and you just can't overdo it with this powder. Sometimes with bronzers, you have to be really careful because it can get really heavy and dark really fast. But with this, you just can't mess up. It blends like butter on the skin. It just gives you that perfect warmth. And the powder itself just gives your skin a really soft finish. So it just looks flawless. This powder will last you for years. I've had this for about 3 years now and I'm nowhere near done with it. Highly recommend this one. It is on the pricier side, but it will last you forever. All right, moving on to blush. I only have one in this category because I really didn't use any other blush this year or the year prior to that really. This blush is not going to come as a surprise if you've been following me for a while. It is the Glossier Cloud Paint Seamless Cheek Color. So I am obsessed with Glossier Cloud Paints. I have a whole video on my channel if you guys want to know more about it. I also do swatches on it. I'll link that video down below. But what this is a gel cream blush. And before being introduced to this product, I never wore any cream blushes or gel blushes. I always used powder blushes. I always thought that they were the best, that they were the best for my skin type. These blushes just give your skin a really nice glow. It makes your skin look really healthy. It just melts into your skin. It blends so nicely. And there's no way that you can mess up when you apply this. You can actually use your fingers to apply it. So if you're not really a makeup person and you like using your fingers to apply makeup, it's gonna come out beautiful. Or if you like using a brush or a sponge, it's gonna blend beautifully into the skin. And the best thing about it is that it's so long lasting. It's more long lasting than any powder blush I've ever tried. It just stays on your skin and it doesn't make your skin look greasy or oily or anything like that. I also love using these as a lip tint, so I always use the color Storm for my lips. It just gives me this really nice rosy lip that looks really healthy. And the way that I apply this is just with my fingers. I like to just blend it into my lip, and then I like to apply a gloss over it, and it just makes my lips look really healthy. These blushes are just so versatile. They're more than a blush. And I swear you guys, once you try these, you're not going to want to use any other blush. Like no other blush just is good enough for me anymore. I highly recommend these. I've been using them for years and I'm not going to stop using them. Alright, so now we're all done with face products, which is really exciting. I'm going to move on to eyes, and we're going to start with eyeshadows. I have two eyeshadow palettes here. The first one that I'm going to mention is the Makeup by Mario Master Palette eyeshadow palette. First of all, I have a lot of eyeshadow palettes and I definitely didn't need another one this year, especially a warm eyeshadow palette because that's pretty much all I use. But I had to make an exception because Mario is one of my favorite makeup artists. I look up to him so much and I just knew he was going to create quality products. So I wanted to try this out for myself and I am actually blown away. And it's actually the eyeshadow palette that I'm wearing on my eyes today, and it's pretty much the only palette that I've been wearing lately. In terms of the eyeshadow formula, this is going to be more sheer to buildable. This is not a super pigmented eyeshadow formula, so when you apply the color on, you're actually going to get very sheer coverage. It's not going to pack on a lot of color right away. And he specifically made it that way so that you can actually build up the color. And the result of this is that your eyeshadow just looks really soft and diffused and just really blended in. You don't have to work really hard to blend the color in. A lot of people may not be used to the lighter pigmentation, but it really does make sense because you're able to build onto it. It blends a lot easier. Like my eyeshadow has honestly never looked this smooth with other eyeshadows. So not only is this palette my favorite because it has every variation of brown. I'm a sucker for brown eyeshadow. I love using the dark brown or even the lighter brown as my eyeliner. I actually used this brown eyeshadow today over my pencil eyeliner to kind of just smudge it. It hasn't transferred. It's just very long wearing and stays all day long. So overall, I'm really impressed with this eyeshadow palette. It's really the only palette that I need. It has all the essential colors to create a natural look, a dramatic look. You can wear them as eyeliners. It's really versatile and he really knocked it out of the park with the formulation. Alright, the other eyeshadow palette that I have here is the Charlotte Tilbury Luxury Palette Color Coated Eyeshadows. So I typically only use matte eyeshadows these days, but sometimes I do want a nice shimmer. It has a nice gold shimmer, a champagne shimmer, and if you guys have never tried Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadows, The formula is so soft and buttery and very pigmented. Her eyeshadows are very high quality and you could really feel the difference when you're blending it. I think she makes the best shimmers and I love this palette. Alright guys, moving on to eyeliners. I think I've already mentioned this, but I'm a sucker for a good brown eyeliner. It's pretty much all I use. And the two that I'm going to talk about here in the same breath are the Marc Jacobs Highliner Matte Gel Eye Crayon in the color Brownie and Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in the color Roach. So these two are pretty much what I use on an everyday basis. The Marc Jacobs one has a matte finish, it's super long wearing, and it just has so much pigmentation. And the Urban Decay one has a little bit of shimmer in it, so it just looks so flattering on the eye. And the best thing is that both of these are very blendable, so after I apply it on, I do like to blend it out with another brush, and it just looks so soft and diffused. They're both very long wearing. I would say the Marc Jacobs one is a little bit more long wearing. I also love using the Urban Decay one that has the shimmer in it in my waterline, and it just looks so natural. Sometimes black in the waterline just looks really harsh. It makes my eyes look really defined but still really soft. But I love these two eyeliners. They're definitely my go-to. Alright guys, we're gonna move on to mascaras, one of my favorite topics ever. And I tried a lot of mascaras this year. Like right now I'm probably alternating between like 6 different mascaras, and these two really stood out to me the most out of all the mascaras. So I'm going to start with the one that really surprised me this year, and it is the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Push Up Lashes. This is not your typical mascara. It's not a mascara that you would just open and just start applying right away. There's actually very specific instructions on how to apply this mascara, which I have never experienced before in a mascara. It actually took me a while to like this mascara because it is a different application process, but if you just follow the instructions and you practice every day, you will get the most amazing lashes of your life. And when you apply this, it actually curls and lifts your lashes, which is my favorite thing about it. And this is just going to give your lashes a lot of volume, a lot of drama. So if you're someone that likes that in a mascara, you will really love this. Again, there's a bit of a learning curve with this one, so be patient with it. Practice, follow the instructions on the box, and you will, again, get the best lashes of your life. The other mascara that I have here is the Wander Beauty Mile High Club Volume and Length Mascara. I love this mascara for a more natural looking lash, especially on the days when I don't want to wear a lot of makeup. This really separates your lashes, it lengthens your lashes, and the best thing about it is that it never ever clumps, no matter how many layers of mascara you put. It just separates your lashes. It really is amazing. So again, I like using this for a more natural lash look, and the Charlotte Tilbury one for all the drama. Alright guys, so we're down to our last category for eyes. You know, I can't forget about eyebrows. I have 3 products in this category. The first one I'm going to start off with is the Glossier Brow Flick in Brown. So what this is a felt tip brow pen, so you can get really precise with your application. And the result of this is realistic hair-like strokes. So this is going to give you that like micro-bladed brow look. If you like that, you can create really tiny hairs that look really precise. I have to give a little disclaimer because this is not the easiest brow product to use. It definitely took me a while to like this product. Because it's like an inky pen, you have to be really careful when you apply it. It can get really heavy and really dark if you don't apply very light pressure. So with this, you need the lightest hand. I'm going to insert a little photo here of how my brows look when I use this product, but it just gives that really like micro-bladed look. My brows just look really defined, they look full, and you can get really realistic hairs with this brow pen. And this is not going to be for everybody, but if you like that realistic look of hair on your brows, you are going to love this. Alright, my next brow product here is my holy grail brow product. I've been using this for years, and I pretty much use it almost every day. It is the NYX Micro Brow Pencil. So this is a dupe to the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz, which is really popular. It's an amazing brow pencil. I've also used that one for years, but I wanted to find an alternative to the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz because it runs out so fast. Brow pencils in general just run out so fast, so I always like to find a drugstore alternative, and this one is just amazing. So on one side you get the brow pencil and it's retractable, so it's really convenient. You don't have to sharpen it. And on the other side you get a spoolie, which is really nice because you can blend in the product with your brows, or if you apply too much, this is just going to soften it. And the shade that I have is ash brown. I always recommend going a little bit lighter than your hair color. It's just going to look more natural. It's going to look softer. You don't want really heavy brows. This is actually what I have in my brows right now, and I like it because it goes on really natural, but I can build it if I want a little bit more definition. So ash brown is the perfect color for me. I get mine at Target, but of course you can get it at any drugstore. This is an amazing brow pencil. If you guys haven't tried it yet, or if you use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz, definitely give this one a try. It's amazing and it's just so affordable. All right, next I have a brow gel here, and this is also by NYX. This is the NYX Tinted Brow Mascara. This is another brow gel, brow mascara I've been using for years, and I still use it almost every day. I also have this on today, by the way. I have the NYX brow pencil and then the brow mascara together. They're my favorite combination, and I just love that this does everything that I look for in a brow gel. It volumizes and it makes my brows look thicker and fuller. It also has a tint of color in it. This one is brunette, so it's just going to give me that definition, and it's going to finish off my brows. And the most important thing is that it holds all my hairs in place and just keeps my brows on all day long. And I just can't recommend it enough. It is an amazing brow gel at such a good price point. You will not be disappointed by these two brow products together. Definitely give it a try. You'll love it. All right, we're finally down to our last category, which is lips. And let me just say right off the bat, I am a lip gloss girl. I love lip gloss. I wear it way more than lipstick. So I have 3 lip glosses here in this category. I also have a lip liner. I'm going to start off with my favorite nude lip liner and nude lip gloss combo, which is what I'm wearing right now, and it's pretty much what I've been wearing all year round. I love this combo together. The lip liner is the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat in the color Iconic Nude. This is the perfect brown nude lip liner that's just going to define your lips. It's perfect for outlining your lips if you want to make them look a little bit bigger but still keep them natural looking. And the formula is amazing. It just goes on really smooth, very buttery, and it lasts all day long. Like, I've had this lip for 4 hours now and it still looks amazing. And then for the gloss that I like to wear with it is the BALM Cosmetics Read My Lips lip gloss in the shade Snap. So I wasn't even going to include this lip gloss because it's actually discontinued from the brand itself. However, I was able to find it on Walmart and a few other retailers, which I will link in the description box. So I thought it was worth mentioning because I'm definitely going to buy a few of these, but it's just the perfect brown nude lip gloss. All right, moving on, I have 2 other glosses here that I wore so much this year. The first one is the Glossier Clear Transparent Lip Gloss. This is hands down my favorite clear lip gloss of all time. This one really plumps up your lips. Like, when I put this on, my lips look injected. This is going to give you that high shine finish, so if you like that in a gloss, this is super shiny. It just makes your lips look super luscious and just super plumping, so I highly recommend this one. This has probably replaced my Fenty Beauty lip gloss, which I also still love, but there's just something about this. I don't know what it is. I keep going back to it. The last gloss that I have here is the JOUER Essential Hydrating Lip Oil. So this is actually not considered a lip gloss. It's a lip oil, but it's super hydrating on the lips and it just gives you a really nice shine. And compared to a lip gloss, it's not sticky at all. So your lips just feel really hydrated, really soft all day long. But this one gives me the finish of a gloss as well. So I know that it's hydrating my lips really nicely, and it's also giving me that high shine. It makes my lips look really juicy and luscious, and I really enjoyed this one. So these ones were my favorite clear transparent lip gloss, and this one was my favorite color lip gloss. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed my favorite makeup products of 2020. I really did my best to have products in every single category, and I also tried my best to do a mix of high-end and drugstore as well, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm curious what your favorite makeup products were of 2020. Comment down below, let me know, and I will check it out. If you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure that you check out part 1 of this video, which is my best skincare finds of 2020. And in my next video, I'm going to be talking about the best tools and gadgets of 2020. So you don't want to miss that. As always, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and make sure that you're subscribed to my channel so you don't miss my next video. And I will see you guys really soon. Bye!